Yes, we have been discussing Janet McKee, who is the Auckland real estate agent with some 30 years under her belt. And she faced a 5-year ban if her licence was revoked. This, of course, she didn't take part in a module that was featuring learning about Te Tiriti Te Ao Māori. She sought her day in court, her judicial review against her industry body, and the High Court dismissed her claim yesterday. So, Associate Minister Nicole McKee has acknowledged that High Court decision and said that she sent a letter of expectation to the Real Estate Authority Board. And she joins me now. Nicole, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Leah. Thanks for having me on.
Wow, what a story, Nicole. Firstly, do you feel Janet Dickson has been harshly treated?
I think we have to take a step back and actually look at what the judge had to look at, which was all the evidence before them. The judge has basically come out and ruled in favour of the Real Estate Authority, and that's because by the rule of law and the way that the law is written, they were correct. Even if you disagree with what they made as a compulsory personal development course, they were legally correct in what they had to do. So now it's up to me, Leah, to make sure that we change the law to ensure that people like Janet in the future don't lose their job or the ability to work as a real estate agent for 5 years because they did not agree in principle with doing a compulsory personal development course. So, yes, I did this letter of expectation to them, but I've also now got a bill which was presented to the House in December, Regulatory Systems Occupational Regulation Amendment Bill, and we're going to remove that 5-year clause that says that if you don't do the compulsory component, that you will not be able to work for 5 years. So effectively, the judge has done the right thing. They've read the letter of the law. Yeah, what was legal, and they've ruled on that. I've got to change it now.
Yeah, just change the law. Nicole, I will rephrase then. Do you believe the Te Kakano course meets the requirement of being relevant to the real estate profession?
Well, in fairness, I did have concerns which I raised with the Real Estate Authority at the time. I mean, in the end, I got given their booklet. It was a 57-page booklet, a 90-minute course that needed to be done, but I could only find relevance to real estate agents' work in 6 of those 57 pages. I'm not a real estate agent, but I'm just looking at what I would have thought would have made me knowledgeable in that area, and out of 57 pages, I only saw 6 in there. So my letter of expectation, which I sent to them in February last year, I clearly outlined that these CPD courses should be relevant to the job, like fully relevant to the job, and that te kākono, which is the seed, it didn't meet my expectation of relevance to the real estate profession. And so I wanted them to have a look at what they were doing there. Meanwhile, was looking at what can I do to make sure that people don't lose their profession for 5 years. No one else has that within their rules. No one else loses the ability to be able to work for 5 years in their chosen field.
So harsh.
We're going to change
5
that.
Yeah. Because
5 years, that's very harsh.
You've just said that no one else does this, though, but there would be other, companies, professions where you still have to sit these kind of courses. Are you casting an eye over them as well, especially if it's a government agency, although I know they're independent? Or is it just the Real Estate Authority that will face this?
Well, as Associate Minister of Justice, I am responsible for the Real Estate Authority, so they are on my radar because when Janet first took the case, she also named me as a defendant, or my role, the Associate Minister of Justice, as a defendant as well, and that's what made me go and have a really good look at what's going on here. I'd be horrified to think that there were similar things happening in other workplaces as well. But of course, we cannot take responsibility for those private businesses.
No, that's true.
They can do what they want to do, but we've got to make sure that government agencies able to involve everybody. And I have this expectation that the relevance of any compulsory courses that are done are for the benefit not only of the agent but for the people that are buying and selling their homes. And I don't care what race they are, what colour their skin is. It should be the same for everybody.
Nicole, so this you said you introduced the Regulatory Systems or Occupational Regulation Amendment Bill to Parliament in December last year, so it's quite new.
Yes.
When you introduce it, when does it actually become law, though? What's the time frame, or is it? What are we looking at?
So this actual bill is tidying up a whole lot of other things as well. So I expect it will go through pretty quickly, and I suspect that I'm going to get support around the House for it as well. We were hoping to do the first reading in the first week that we were back in Parliament, but that didn't happen. So just wait for the Leader of the House to tell me when the next opportunity is for it to come up. It will then go into select committee for, due time and probably get a few submissions on it. And then we'll come back for a second reading, committee of the whole, and the third reading. And I'm hoping that we can get through this pretty quickly, especially if we have support around the House.
Nicole, you are at Waitangi, correct?
I am, yes.
Now, there's been already in the news there's been a little bit going on, and David has tried to address everyone there. And what's happened, Nicole? We've heard that the microphone, was it taken off him? What's the setup? What's going on?
The walking mic.
The walking mic.
The walking mic. So when David was speaking, one of the men on the front row of the Waitangi home side, because we're the visitors, got up during David's speech, walked over to him and removed the microphone from him so that no one else could hear him. So David just continued speaking. He just kept on speaking.
We've seen him do that a few times. Yeah.
Then another gentleman got up. He got the microphone and he brought it back and he put it in front of David. And lo and behold, it wasn't long before the first gentleman got back up and removed it again. So also, a few of them turned their backs on David. But I think the positive from that is we saw some who did not, and they were on the front row, and including people who got chairs to come and sit in the front row to listen to David. And this is the thing, right? You come to Waitangi to listen, and for politicians, it's important that we do that. But it's very one-sided debate when they don't like what's being said, or come have a debate, come listen to us, they say, and then when you do, there's rudeness, which goes against the tikanga of the place. But
yes.
I guess it shows their frustration, and this is the way that they are showing it. And I still respect that. But taking the mic away so that no one else can hear, I don't respect that. No. I just think that I don't think that's an open debate at all. But at the end of the day, no. But at the end of the day, we are there to listen, and hopefully we're being heard as well. Because what David was pointing out is there is a lot of misinformation out there about what this bill actually does, and we are trying to encourage people to actually go and read the bill. We're not rewriting the Treaty of Waitangi, not at all. We're not removing Māori language, te reo, not at all. What we're doing is defining the principles that have been put in legislation by unelected people and allowing New Zealand to have a say on that. So I think it's great that we've had close to 300,000 submissions. People want to be heard. They have a view on this, and it's a discussion we think as a party that needs to be had.